The last time I was in a prison chapel, I was asking about a correction officer who's a friend of mine. And one of the inmates chimed in, "Oh, that guy, he walks the walk." Now, I have heard that expression used many times since then to describe somebody whose words and actions match, that they are true to their promises, that they live up to their responsibilities and don't deceive anyone with self-conceit. He walks the walk. I hope that someday I'll be referred to it in that way. It is really quite a compliment. And we have invested ourselves in the way that others walk. We have structured our lives because of something that someone told us. A woman has been given a diagnosis of cancer, and she dreads both the treatment and the effects it will have on her family and those around her. And her husband promises, "Don't worry, I'll be there for you." A groom tells his bride, "Till death do us part." A wife reassures her husband, "I forgive you." My daughter tells my then 4-year-old grandson, who was about to have an operation, "Don't worry, when you wake up, Mommy and Daddy will be right here smiling at you." We all place our confidence on words like these. They enable us to go ahead into the uncertain and painful future, to pick ourselves up and risk starting all over again. Words like these give us a new life. And we trust that the person who speaks such promises and reassurances to us walks the walk. And we also hold God to God's word. We want God to walk the walk. And as if to prove this, God has turned his word into one of us, joining with us on our human journey, not just in external appearances, but fully with us. If God has taken flesh, we don't want him to be like an android who looks human but feels no pain or experiences no emotional highs and lows or grieves no deaths. We want God to feel what we feel when we are loved or encouraged or challenged or betrayed. If God is really going to become one of us, we want to know that God isn't just putting on a show with smoke and mirrors, but that God is truly walking the walk that we walk. So, the temptations at the beginning of Jesus' ministry, when he begins his journey, his walk with us, and then he extends an invitation for us to join him to walk the way he walks in the world. No sooner has he started that ministry than Jesus meets the tempter. The devil challenges how real Jesus' immersion among us is going to be. Will he command those stones to become bread? In other words, will Jesus, God, know physical hunger and pain, as well as those same longings of the heart that we do? Or will he just use his powers and satisfy those needs on a whim? The temptation here is really to skip over the physical and emotional pain that we all have. And then the devil has more to offer Jesus. Having shown him all the kingdoms of the world, the devil makes an offer that so many humans have, to one degree or another, accepted. Jesus can gain power and influence by worshiping at the altar of power. the altar of compromise, the altar of deals. And in rejecting this temptation, Jesus chooses to live an ordinary person's life, to undergo that same control that is endured by his very own neighbors and currently endured by the heroes of Ukraine, by an oppressor in an occupied land, just the same way Jesus was. Jesus walks the same path of all the oppressed. Those without name recognition, they see him all the time. One who is totally faithful in his choice to become human. And then the devil goes on even further. If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down from here. And it is tempting to think that a proof of God's love for us is a comfortable and pain-free life. Certainly, the notion of a protected life, of expecting to be spared of all pain and disappointment as God's beloved, would be a big temptation throughout all of Jesus' life, especially as he endures his passion. Where is God when we are suffering? If God really loved me, I wouldn't be in this pain. These are all those temptations. I wouldn't have failed at this project. I wouldn't have been betrayed by those I trusted. But there doesn't seem to be an escape clause written into Jesus' being one of us, is there? He doesn't get out in a nick of time. And so all of his followers, including you and me, must resist the temptation to opt out when the path of discipleship brings hardship and suffering. There will be no quick rescue by God when the forces of evil close in on him. There's no angels to show up to protect him, because that's not what it means to be human. And so that's not what it means for Jesus as he fulfills his word to be one with us. And having listened to the tempting offers made by the devil, Jesus turns away from the tempter, and then he turns towards us. And like us, he's going to stumble and fall. We see on those stations. He's going to get hurt. He's going to know hunger. He's going to see his project collapse. And he's risking all, placing his message into the hands of not the powerful, but of ordinary people just like you and me. He's taking a big chance on us. He's trusting his future on us. The devil is really asking him in this passage, are you really going to walk totally with these humans? Will you take their journey all the way to the end? You're going to avoid the easy outs and have a flashy success story? And Jesus' response is, yes, I will. And the rest of the gospel shows us how he did that.